Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 4th of September. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Commonwealth Bank, Pro Medicus, Rio Tinto, IVE Group and Woolworths. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but our best recommendations come out on Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report. So please make sure you're getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management. So if you'd like to have a managed account, then please call me. And all the advice here is general only. So we've got the daily chart here of CBA. Obviously it's one that we look at often. We're bullish on it, started last year, but on our the most recent video, I had a look at it in July, so we noted that it was, broke the head and shoulders, and that was the selling opportunity. And now it's on the way back down. If I switch over to a chart that's got a 50-day moving average, that's a pretty good guideline for it, and we could see that now it's, the 50 days rolled over and CBA is staying under it. Just moving back, we can also see that the sell-offs are quite impulsive. So it tries to rally, impulsive sell-off, then another sort of very corrective, slow rally, impulsive sell-off, another impulsive sell-off. So, all of that's negative, of course. There are a range of potential support levels nearby, but it's too early to predict where it might stop. So I just think for the moment, risk is to the downside for CBA. Pro Medicus, so just having a look at what it's been doing recently. So obviously rallied well off the April low, consolidated under the old high, which was a positive. Then it broke to a new high, but it has been drifting lower since July. We can see that, it bounced well on the day of the result, but it couldn't follow through and has basically given up the gains for that day. So a bit of a negative. Again, if I look at a 50-day moving average, which is, I think for Pro Medicus, a pretty good sort of trailing stop, you'd see that it's, it is back under that line and starting to roll over, and it's staying under the 50 days. So a bit of a negative. Again, don't know where it might sort of stop and find support. So for the moment, also a bit of risk to the downside. Rio, so if we just look at what it's been doing, say in the past year, we've got this sort of resistance line. It's still trading under that, but most recently we could see the range is tightening up. So we're getting this little tight triangle under resistance. So that's potentially a good sign. It'll break out of this. It could be to the downside, but at the moment it looks like it could break to the upside. So basically keep an eye on it. If it breaks above these lines, then that's your buying opportunity. Okay, IVE Group, IGL. So look, it had been trending well for a while, up until this sort of big sell-off several days ago. So it's it's broken that uptrend. And now we've gone from a period of, very small daily ranges to very large daily ranges. So there's a lot of volatility there. It is at risk of falling further. Obviously it has bounced off these lower levels briefly, but I think at best it'll, trade sideways and then get ready to go again. Otherwise, it doesn't, it could still well fall back into these lower levels. Finally, Woolworths. So if we have a look at the weekly chart, if we go back, say 5 years, we could see it's just been a massive underperformer. So it's still trading at the COVID lows when the rest of the market's moved on. It looked like it was maybe breaking there's a bit of sort of downtrend resistance there. Looked like it was sort of breaking it, but then it comprehensively failed. So that a failed break to the upside usually leads to a swift move in the opposite direction. That's what we've got. So, look, still looking a bit ugly. There's no obvious signs of of support, and I think the risk is still to the downside. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and we'll try to cover it next week for you.